Guy's done a lot of movies, man. Direct, produce, write, 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, Pineapple Express, Step Brothers, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Funny People, Bridesmaids, 5-Year Engagement, This Is 40. And now he's got Trainwreck that hits theaters July 17th. Why are you hogging all the movies, Judd?
I'm trying to figure out how come you're not in them. What do I got Kenny Mayne in there for?
Well, last time you were on, you gave that faux, hey, yeah, I'd love to have you in the movie.
I know. Now I did a movie with all these athletes, and I still didn't use you.
What's that say about me, Judd?
I don't know. I used Kenny Mayne, but then he got cut out. But I thought that you would enjoy the fact that I did that. I wasted his time on purpose. It was an elaborate practical joke.
But how difficult is it when somebody says they ask you to be in a movie?
How difficult is it for me to say no?
Yes.
Well, you're the only one who's been that bold. I don't really get that many.
Wait. Nobody has said, "Hey, I'd love to be in your next movie," or "You got a movie role for me." Nobody's ever done that, but me.
It happens sometimes. Like I'll do a meeting with somebody, and we go, "Oh, we should find something to do together." But I don't always think of something, and it's not because I don't love them. It's just because I'm not that smart and I don't have that many ideas.
But have you ever told your wife that she is not right for a role in your movie?
Oh, sure, all the time. And we just do it when we have something great that we both are really into doing. I mean, most of the time, she's the one that is, coming up with all the good, great ideas that we do in those movies. She's the funniest of everybody.
Oh, she's great. Leslie Mann, by the way, is who Judd is married to. The full official introduction, Judd Apatow, director, producer, screenwriter, actor, author, and the new movie Trainwreck in theaters July 17th. Amy Schumer is the new face here. When did you realize that Amy Schumer was the woman that you wanted for this role?
I was just listening to Howard Stern one day, and she was so funny and telling all these crazy stories about her relationships and her family. I just had this instinct, this is a movie star. And I hadn't even really seen almost any of her stand-up. It was just her talking. But now, we made this movie together. We're going on the road this week. We're doing 7 concerts in 8 days to promote the movie, but they're all for charity. So me and Amy and Dave Attell and Mike Birbiglia and Colin Quinn and Vanessa Bayer, we're doing stand-up comedy concerts. So we're at the Beacon on Monday. We're at Massey Hall on Wednesday in Toronto. We're going to be at the Wiltern. And so, it's an excuse for me to pretend I'm a comedian.
Well, I noticed that, and you got a cameo with LeBron.
Yes.
How did that come about?
Here's the weird thing. LeBron is funny as hell. If people spend quality time like we have with LeBron, you're just more impressed. I mean, he came onto a set with a lot of really funny professional comedians, and he's as funny as them. He's not doing some cameo in the movie where he just does a couple of lines really stiffly and walks away. He's one of the stars of the movie, and he kills in every scene. And as a comedy person, it annoys me because I went into comedy because I was so bad at sports. This was my area. I don't like when an athlete is good at what I do.
You hate those people. It's like the good-looking guy who's also funny and talented.
Yeah, no, that's the worst thing. Those people are so irritating. And we shot the movie right when he decided to go back to Cleveland. And his whole family was on the set, and they were all so excited to go back to Cleveland. I've never seen people that excited to go back to Cleveland.
Have you been to Cleveland, Judd?
I have not been to Cleveland. I joke about it. It might be the prettiest city in the world. I use it as comic fodder.
Well, why aren't you going to the NBA Finals?
I got connections. I mean, I'm not sure, but there is a chance I could have got tickets. You know what? I didn't even think about it because I'm such a neurotic Jewish guy that I never think I'm going to pick up the phone and call up LeBron's team and go, "Can I get tickets to the NBA Finals?" I never would assume that someone would be happy to get that call. And then what I do every time is I can't watch the game while it's on, and then I'll have it on TiVo and I'll check Twitter or something, and everyone's freaking out about what LeBron did. I'm like, damn it!
He's Judd Apatow. He's the director, writer, producer, actor, blah, 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 blah. And the movie is a Trainwreck. It hits theaters July 17th. You got Tony Romo, Amari Stoudemire, Chris Everett, Marv Albert have cameos in Trainwreck. What are you doing, Entourage here?
Exactly. Well, we thought, we're always trying to think of a funny occupation for someone in the movie. So we thought, what if it's like a sports surgeon as Bill Hader's occupation? And then we knew we could fill all these people in. And so we had scenes in the movie with Bill talking to Marv Albert. And Marv, let me say, Marv is not as good an actor as LeBron James. I'm not going to say that it didn't take real effort. In the movie, he looks like Marlon Brando. He's a genius. It's only because of my directing.
Have you ever done a one take where you just say, it can't be any better than that?
I haven't done that, although it does happen where you go, well, I guess we're probably not going to beat it, but let's do another one in case we're wrong. But when we did the Larry Sanders Show, the very last scene between Rip Torn, Jeffrey Tambor, and Gary was 5 or 6 solid minutes long. And it was the last scene they shot for the entire series, and they just ripped it in one take. They looked at each other, and they said, yeah, we're done. And they walked away. It was pretty badass. What's
the movie growing up that made you want to do this?
I was a big Caddyshack Stripes guy. And Fast Times at Ridgemont High came out when I was in high school, when I was in 11th, 12th grade. I loved all those James Brooks movies like Broadcast News and Terms of Endearment and all the Saturday Night Live stuff. I grew up in the Saturday Night Live era. I was 8 when Saturday Night Live came on, so it completely molded my brain.
Have you worked with Bill Murray?
I haven't. I met him once for about 15 seconds. He smiled politely at me, and then he walked away, and that was all I got. But I couldn't be a bigger fan. I mean, we all talked like him for a decade when we were kids. I've just now stopped talking like his character in Caddyshack.
Do you have any plans to work with him?
The thing is, with your idols, you need a great idea because you don't want to be the person who made the crappy Bill Murray movie. And I'm really not that smart. I don't think of that many ideas. And so I was lucky enough to work with Albert Brooks on This Is 40, and I'm slowly trying to get to everyone. Then the only limitation is, me not being that sharp. But obviously, it's the dream.
Give me the comedy that should have won the Oscar.
The comedy that should have won the Oscar, that's a very good question. I think most of them. It's much harder to make a comedy than a drama. A drama is just a comedy without jokes. I mean, every time I have a friend who makes a drama, they always say, this is so much easier because you don't have to think of the funny parts. You just say the story stuff without the jokes.
I still maintain Meet the Parents. At least De Niro should have got an Academy Award for what he did.
Well, when you think about comedy, those are the movies you go back to and watch 10 times. I mean, I love all the dramas, but, how many of those movies that won the Best Picture have you ever said, I'm going to check in on that again?
Wait, Shakespeare in Love, you have not gone back to watch that?
I haven't gone back to watch any Oscar-winning movie. They're all one-timers for me. And they may be amazing, but you don't go back and watch them again. So I think people just assume comedies are easy because it looks like they're having fun or they're effortless, when they're just really, it's really hard to figure out how to make people make noises while watching a movie.
How do you know when it's a good scene?
It's just the gut. It's like you're watching a movie. And you think, oh, that was a good scene. It's really not more complicated than that.
But do you listen, let's say the crew laughs.
It's not really the crew. The crew doesn't know anything. Sometimes they laugh, sometimes they don't. When we made The 40-Year-Old Virgin, the crew seemed so annoyed every second of the entire shoot.
Why?
I don't know. They just seemed annoyed we were improvising and irritated with just us being filthy. And they didn't laugh at all. It was like they were shooting a Purina Cat Chow commercial or something. They just looked so mad at me. It was a lot of Clint Eastwood's crew, and they were used to Clint Eastwood doing one take and going home at 2 o'clock. And meanwhile, we're improvising about erections for 2 hours straight. And they were very upset. So if I listened to them, I would have thought we were doing really badly.
Eastwood never, ever improvises on erections. That's what has always bothered me with his
Well, in
filmmaking.
Bronco Billy, he might have.
How did you know that? I mean, Steve Carell just killed it in 40-Year-Old Virgin. But just the look that he had, the shirt that he had, the hair that he had. I mean, is that him, or is that you telling him this is what you want him to be, look like, feel like?
Well, it's a collaboration, but it was his idea, the movie, and we wrote it together. And he had a very specific approach. We really thought of it as a quiet guy, almost like a Buster Keaton, stone-faced person. And we had just done Anchorman, and I would sit on set. I was one of the producers of Anchorman, and I would watch him, and I just thought, oh, this is like the funniest guy I've ever seen. And everyone on the set of Anchorman was killing. Everyone was on fire, but all of us were watching Steve going, what's going on here? This is crazy what this guy is doing as Brick. And so I said to him, what do you have? You have any ideas that you want to do where you're the lead? And he said, yeah, I have this idea about a 40-year-old virgin. And it was literally like a light bulb went off above my head. I just instantly thought, that's the funniest idea ever.
And I love the movie poster.
Yeah, we got really lucky. It's based on an old Mentos commercial. There was like a poster like in Sweden that looked like that. Everything in the movies is taken from something else.
Well, good luck with the movie. And look, I don't want you to feel embarrassed if you want to reach out to me and you want me to be in a movie on Box Office Gold.
I know that. Don't forget, I have a book I put out that comes out next week, Sick in the Head, which is all interviews with comedians. It's me talking to like Chris Rock and Louis C.K. and Stephen Colbert and Amy Schumer, and all the money goes to charity.
Oh, good.
Sick in the Head.
Sick in the Head conversations about life and comedy, Amazon, or where do they pick this up?
Get it on Amazon. Next week you could go to your local bookstore, and all the money goes to 826, this literacy charity that gives free tutoring sessions to the kids.
I mean, you kind of blew past this about me being in the movie. You went, don't forget about the
book. Well, I'm plugging my book to avoid the uncomfortable moment.
All right. Well,
it got weird there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I thought we were doing really well, man. It felt like fun. It felt like I was with Sandler, somebody I really love.
I love him too, but you're his guy. That happens sometimes.
Stop.
You get labeled
you know
his
what?
guy.
Will said the same thing. Farrell said the same thing. And I asked Sandler, I said, can I see other directors and producers and writers? And he said yes.
Yeah, but then he calls me and he's like, don't do it. Patrick's my guy. That's how I brand myself.
Okay, I think you're telling me the truth. I believe what you're saying, Judd.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, good luck with the movie. And the book is Sick in the Head Conversations About Life and Comedy. Judd Apatow. Thank you, Judd.
All right, take care.
All right,
Bye-bye.
That's Judd. I like that he cast Kenny Mayne in the movie and then cut him out on purpose.